Hey, friends! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, Hallmarkies! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and today I am joined by my friend Liz for the first time to talk about Tipline Mysteries, Dial 1 for Murder. It stars Holland Roden and Chris McNally. It was written by Christina Conrad and directed by Jessica Harmon. Welcome to the podcast, Liz. I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're
Yeah.
finally making it happen.
Yes, it's been a long time coming, but I'm so glad that
Truly.
we're finally talking about this movie.
It's like a couple months, we got there.
Yeah, we got there. Yes. So what were your first impressions or hot takes on this movie? Or would you like me to go first?
First impressions, I'm a big cinematography person.
Mhm,
So, that and like color grading and editing, because that's kind of my
mhm.
wheelhouse. I loved the color grade on it. It's
Yes.
the biggest thing. The contrast, the bootiness,
Mhm.
how dark it was. Yeah, that was
It was
my favorite thing.
great. Yeah. Fantastic writing and directing. I think this is one of the best mystery films that Hallmark has done in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch all the new ones
Yeah.
for contrast, but yeah, it was good. If it had like three,
Mhm.
maybe I'd feel differently about it. I feel like you get
Yeah.
a chance to actually care about characters and their
Yeah.
stories at that point. One's a little hard for me
Yeah.
to really
Yeah.
like anybody yet.
Yeah. I loved the costumes in this movie too. What did you think about some of the outfits from the characters?
Again, it's been a hot minute, so I tried
Oh,
to
that's okay.
rewatch while I was waiting to
Yeah.
kind of jog my memory. I mean, I do not like the hat. I get that it's different and
Hmm.
that way she kind of sets herself apart from like other, female lead characters on
Yeah.
their detective shows. I wasn't crazy about it, but
Totally
in
get it.
general, I liked the
Yeah.
contrast, and costume
Hmm.
is part of that. So I think they had a good way of making her pop without it
Hmm.
seeming overly obnoxious and not, blending with the palette.
Yeah. I think two of my favorites from Maddie were the sweater, the striped yellow and white sweater that she wore, and then the outfit at the end, the green leather jacket. I thought
Okay,
was great too.
I love leather, so yeah, green leather would work. I'm trying to remember. I
Yeah,
like the long coats. I feel like she had some long coats. I like those.
she
The
did have a
trench
couple.
coat.
Yeah.
I like those. I'm sure they're
Hmm.
classic and everybody wears them, but I think they're
Yeah.
vibe. So
Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah. I thought the dynamic and chemistry with the entire cast was great. Great ensemble cast. And I think that Holland and Chris played off of each other really well in this movie.
Yeah. Again, it's been a hot minute. So
It's okay.
I can't say that like chemistry was amazing or bad. I don't remember it being bad, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Um
it's okay.
but yeah, I mean, I would give it like a good. Like it for being Hallmark, it's probably like a 7 out of 10 for me. I have pretty high
Okay.
standards.
I
Again,
get
if
it.
it
Yeah.
had three movies, I feel like it could
Hmm.
pass, baked in my mind on,
Yeah.
I've kind of got like a tier ranking. I don't count Signed as a
Hmm.
mystery because it doesn't have murder, so I feel like that's got to be separate.
Yeah.
But obviously Mystery 101, but then it's like baked and crosswords are kind of like the next two. So I feel like if this
Yeah.
one was given a couple movies, it could change that.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
again, I like a lot of them. Like I like the cut color. I love Nikki Nora.
Hmm.
Nikki Nora are up there, even though they only have
That's a
one.
great one.
You
Yeah.
know, cut color. I like French. Was it Francesca
Quinn.
Quinn? I liked
Yeah.
that one. I know
Yeah.
that was not necessarily popular because people were mad about it, but I
Hmm.
liked it. So it's like
Yeah,
whatever.
I enjoyed that one too. And then also Mystery Island was pretty good.
Mystery Island, I love the actress, so I feel like that blinded me because I know her from Shield.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
Yes.
oh, doesn't matter.
Yes.
I'm like, you
Yeah.
got her on Hallmark? That's
Yeah.
insane. So
It was
that's all
pretty
I
cool.
needed.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I mean, she's a Marvel star, bro.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
And apparently they are making another one. And I know that because Kristen Booth is in it.
Wow. Okay.
According to her Instagram post. And she
I don't
tagged
know.
Hallmark, which is
Cool.
awesome.
Hey,
So I
hey,
can't wait to see it. Of
cool.
course, being a postable.
You're, yeah, no, actually, I don't follow any of them. I love Sign. Sign's like a
Yeah.
top three show for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah.
just don't happen to follow the cast. But
Oh, that's yeah. Really understandable.
cool, cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. But going back
Yeah,
to Tipline, what did you think about the captain?
I mean, I don't. Again, I tried to rewatch it, so I saw a couple scenes with her in
Hmm.
it. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it was interesting that they chose to do, a lady captain instead of a guy captain. I feel like
Yeah.
most captains in their series are guys, which
Hmm.
makes sense. I feel like when I
Hmm.
think of a police chief, it's gonna be a dude. For some reason, I feel like she had a sense of humor, but I can't remember much
Yeah.
about her.
She has actually been on both When Calls the Heart and Signed, Sealed, Delivered. In Signed, Sealed, Delivered, she was Oliver's lawyer in Truth Be Told.
Oh. Okay, but she's in like one scene then, right?
Yeah,
She's
that
in
one's
the
two scenes. Two
two scene.
scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the grill.
The mailbox grill. Yeah. One in Truth
Yeah.
Be Told
Oh,
and one in
and the
The Impossible
peanuts?
Dream.
The peanut scene when she has condolences, peanuts. Okay, that was a great scene.
Yes.
So she's great in that.
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of her vibe again in this one, kind of like a dry,
Hmm.
sense of
I got
humor.
that too.
That's kind of
I
like
got that
that,
too.
can
I
be kind
got
of
this.
funny in that way. So I just remember her kind of thinking she was kind of funny, but I don't remember anything specific about it.
Oh,
So
that's okay. Yeah.
yeah,
And I would love another one.
to be honest, I'm hard on Hallmark. I'm a pretty hard on them as a company sometimes. Obviously they're either great, mid, or terrible, and it's like to be in that great takes a lot. I feel like they've got this one has a good start, you know.
Hmm.
Who knows how it would finish if they gave it more, but I
Yeah.
would be definitely down for it. Them making let just make three of these instead of making one-offs of everything. Like just
Oh,
give something a
please.
chance to cook because that's the
Please.
point.
Yeah.
That's why you watch a mystery series instead of
Yeah.
fall into love for the 40,000th time, or whatever the name, heart something
That was
another,
right.
heart to heart, or
Yeah.
whatever the name is. It's always like, okay, guys, a little originality, but
Yeah.
um instead of watching whatever fill in the blank that's on the main channel, that's a standalone romance.
Hmm.
That's the point of watching a series, like a
Hmm.
series, and you
Yeah.
don't give people the benefit of watching it. So
Yeah.
you have a bunch of one-offs, like what is it? Something in G major. You have all of these one-offs, jazz, some like Canine one,
Jazz
and
Ramsey. Yeah.
yeah, you just have a bunch of one-offs, and it's like I'll watch them because they make the ads good, or there's an actor
Hmm.
in them that I like, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well that was terrible.
Oh,
Or they're good and they don't do anything. Like Nikki and Nora, to me, makes
come
no sense.
on. We need
Okay,
more Nikki and Nora.
he would be great. It's gonna pull a younger demographic because it's female led and they're younger actors. And
Yeah.
both of them are Hallmark people. It's not like these people are
Yeah.
making other movies with other companies all the time
Yeah.
and they're constantly booked. Like, come on,
Hmm.
this is the moment. So, yes,
Yes.
this one, potential. It has potential. I think
Yes,
it's
it
like a
does.
seven. You know, it's not
Hmm.
like amazing. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you have to watch this, but potentially, especially given the cinematography, which is all I care about. Um, and the story wasn't bad.
No,
So,
it was great.
let them cook.
Yeah.
Give them a couple, and they could be good.
Yeah, I think
But
so
I mean,
too.
they could be go from good to great. Like,
Yeah.
but it's hard to care when there's just like I have written down like the moment when she tells the story of like her reason.
That
Like
was a good scene.
that was the scene, pretty much. That's you
Mm-hmm.
have to have that scene, and
Mm-hmm.
preferably more than one of them. But like you have to give me a reason to care about this character,
Mm-hmm.
specifically the female lead. Like I
Yeah.
need to care about her because the
Mm-hmm.
detectives they write them all super similar. Sorry, and
I could see that. Yeah.
and it's like a trope. It's a cop show trope of like a
Mhm.
damaged female lead and a damaged cop come together. There's always some
Yeah.
like family trauma on one or both sides, and something in her life is a catalyst for her getting into
Mm-hmm.
this. I can get behind more. If they put
Yeah.
out more, I can watch more.
This one has potential, so we need another tip
Potential,
line, and
yes.
we,
Please give this one a chance. Again, Hallmark, please
yeah,
give us a chance to like it. They're like, oh,
yeah,
we canceled all these shows we like because we're going to replace them with even better ones. So far, you've given us like 10 one-offs.
yeah.
But
We need another tip line, and we need another Nikki and Nora.
yes, 100%, please.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
appreciate.
Moving into the suspects and clues. So, of course, the beginning of the movie, we see the mall security guard get shot and killed with a dart at Violet's Jewels. And then Maddie gets a tip line call about a jewelry store that's going to be robbed that night. And that jewelry store is Tremonti. And of course, it's owned by Joseph Tremonti. He goes into the jewelry store, then gets murdered. The door was locked and the cameras were all disabled. And of course, we find that out the next day. Seems like,
Never can have valid security footage.
nope.
Even if it was grainy, it can't be a hoodie. Can't be, no. Camera's got to be out for some unknown reason.
Yeah. In talking to another officer, Detective Beeks hears that Joseph's time of death is between 9 and 11 the night before. The coroner suspects sodium chloride was in the dart. And of course, like a lot of these movies, or some of them, no prints were left behind.
No forensics, guys. No
No
forensics.
forensics. And everything
Because
is missing.
it's super likely that the camera, they managed to disable the alarm, the camera, leave no DNA, and add no prints.
And everything's missing.
They're the perfect criminals until they're not.
Traces of xyloprene was found in Joseph Tremonti, according to the coroner. And xyloprene is a sedative used in animals and livestock. It's prescription only and not available to the public. And Maddie heard on a true crime podcast once that the coroner was talking about some victims showing signs of underlying health issues, and that he said a diagonal ear crease is an ultra predictor of heart disease, or what's called Frank's sign, according to the captain. Mr. Tremonti has an underlying heart condition, and that could have intervened with the xyloprene because he was on a lot of heart meds. The killer robbed at least two stores 3 weeks apart, and both times used xyloprene. And this is Maddie talking about this, and she says that because of that, he or she has to either be a vet, have access to one, or according to Detective Beeks, purchased the drug on the black market.
I mean, I feel like that's a good point. I feel like her bringing up,
Yeah.
what is it? Access opportunity. Opportunity is a big one. Like when someone
Mm-hmm.
dies under, weird ways, like,
Yeah.
murders, you like butcher people. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, someone had to have surgical skills or like the camera's being disabled. Maybe they have to have a tech background.
Yeah.
So picking a skill and narrowing it down, like drug access, I feel like is a
Mm-hmm.
good choice.
Yeah.
Black market though, kind of weak, bro. Does that even exist? Do people even buy much on there?
That
I
was a
feel
little
like
bit of a
that.
stretch.
I'm like, black market just sounds like the FBI. It's like this big thing, but it's
Yeah.
like, oh, chances
Yeah.
of this person you think being a spy are pretty much nothing. So tough.
Yeah. There was a motorcycle leaving the scene of the crime. According to Officer Tran, the security footage from the parking lot of the strip mall from 5:30 to 9 showed no one coming in or out, or between the time Tremonti got to the store that evening and the employees showing up the next morning. And, Maddie was like, that's impossible
Mm-hmm.
because the back door was deadbolted from the inside.
Only suspect I had was the one like toolbox guy.
Ron.
That's the only one that I
Yeah.
suspected. Um,
Yeah. So why don't we talk about Ron for a second? Detective Beeks believes it's interesting timing with Ron's retirement and the robberies because they were all around the same time. And that's about the only clue we got from him. So what made you think that it was Ron other than that?
I don't know. I feel like there's a scene with like him and Maddie at the hotel where he's like
Hotel?
coming to the front. I don't remember the specifics of the scene at all. When I did that quick rewatch right before this,
Hmm.
I came across the scene again, but I feel like I don't know, there's something about it. I was like, he just seems like he has either access or ability, motive, that type of thing towards being as good of a guess as anyone. But I'm normally not good at picking out the killer because I'm
Oh,
always like trying to rationalize because there's
okay.
always one key part missing, right? So either we're missing
Hmm.
motive or opportunity, and there's always this
Yeah.
one fatal thing that we're missing and why we don't suspect that person earlier.
Hmm.
Either they have an
Hmm.
alibi or we don't see the motive. And we're like, oh,
Hmm.
it can't be them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the only true calling card, which my one friend told me about, which has forever ruined mysteries for me, is if
Hmm.
someone has a weird amount of screen time. If someone's in this thing a lot and you don't understand why they're there, what they're adding to the story,
Hmm.
chances are
They're the
they're a
one that did
family
it.
friend. Like they're
Yeah.
friends. That's the worst trope. When they're friends. Like what is it? I feel like I've seen it in a lot of shows, cop shows, regular ones. I know it's a big one in Castle. Where it's like this old family friend comes to town
Hmm.
or just this person you know forever. And
Hmm.
I feel like that would be a great one to use on like a more established series. So
Yeah.
like a
I think
a
so too.
cater or something. Like introduce a character you know in like the first movie, you're gonna make a killer in like six. That would
Hmm.
be so big brain. That would be
Yeah.
cool. Because you're like, no, I
Hmm.
like them because you start to care about them and like them.
Yeah.
They'd be like, anyway,
Yes.
that would be cool. I feel like they did that
Yeah.
in Haley Dean. They had this really good background story with her husband's death or fiance,
Hmm.
boyfriends, or whoever it was.
Oh, that was a great
That was like
storyline.
the greatest ever, pretty much, when it came to side plots of killers. Like the ship
I
wasn't amazing necessarily, but the side story, her backstory, phenomenal.
I loved Jonas and Haley together, but totally
I mean,
okay.
they
But
were
yeah.
cute, but they weren't like, I don't know, personally like, woo, like I'm gonna go edit them. But like, yeah, I wanted them together.
Yeah.
They seemed very well paired, like
Yeah.
equal, like intellectually interests. They matched well, they matched each other's vibe pretty well. But no, her backstory and like that was good.
That was great.
I
Yeah.
liked Haley Dean's a lot because it was kind of more impressive because I wasn't there for the ship,
Hmm.
because a lot of the
Yeah.
shows I'm there for the ship, and that
Hmm.
was when I wasn't, and so it's like, hey,
Yeah.
got
That was a
merit on
great
the
one.
crown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a great side story
the death in her past. Yeah.
with her late fiance. Yeah.
Did you
Let's
have
see.
people? Did you see the killer like who were like cracking from the bat, and you were like, I know it's you. Are you good at it?
Oh, in this movie?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
um
Specifically, did you
I
were like, I got this?
no.
I
No, I did not
feel like it
see
never
this
makes
one.
sense until the end.
No, I thought it
If you
was
cheat, like if you cheat and you're like, this person has a lot of screen time, that's cheating. You can't go to court because somebody has a lot of screen time. I'm saying like they don't give you all the clues until the end. It's like I can't, like, I work like a detective. I'm like, I don't have any proof. I have no reason to
I
believe.
I am horrible at predicting who the killer is in these movies. I am
I'm
horrible at
terrible.
it.
I'm terrible. I have one friend who's extremely good. Her name's Gracie, and we're watching not Hallmark show, but not is it Hulu's Murder Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, I've
And
heard of that.
she gets them all the time. And I'm like, never,
Yeah.
never do. And we're on the
Yes.
new season is coming out right now. We all have a watch party, Alex too, and I'm always clueless every time.
Hmm.
Like, I can't row. I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's halfway through the season. So if they're really
Yeah.
pointing towards someone now, it can't be that person
Hmm.
too early. That's my
Yeah.
problem. I always like the suspect in the middle of the movie. It's like, okay, well, obviously it can't be him because we're only halfway done.
Yep. So Marcella, moving on to her, of course, with most of these mystery movies, if there's a significant other, the one that is not dead is always the first suspect.
Yeah, well,
And
true.
yeah, I mean,
What like to say? Like, I mean, you're most likely to be
hmm,
offed by somebody you know.
yeah.
So,
So the last time she spoke with her husband was 9 p.m. the night before he died. He texted her about leaving his wallet. She was in Atlanta for a conference, a veterinary conference, which we find out later. They were getting a divorce, but already worked out all the terms. She had a life insurance policy on her husband, but she signed over the ownership to him, and he did the same with her. They changed their beneficiaries and they separated for irreconcilable differences. And he changed all the locks when she gave up her interest in the business as well as the safe. So he changed the locks on, I
mhm.
guess, the store and the
It's like that
safe.
would have been great motive if the life insurance wasn't changed. That would have been the motive. But
Mm-hmm.
alas.
Exactly. Yes. So, of course, like I said, she attended a veterinary conference the night her husband died. She could have robbed the store to make it seem like she wasn't targeting her husband. I think we find out in the same scene that Tremonti hadn't named a beneficiary, which means the policy pays his estate. So she would get half of an extra $2.5 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a motive for murder, ladies and gentlemen.
I would have thought it was her.
Valid. I mean, like I said, the spouse, like the butler resident spouse, is always going to be a really prime and
Hmm.
understandable suspect.
Hmm.
Most emotion,
Yeah.
so crime of passion is valid, and
Hmm.
also money. Um,
Yeah.
money will do it.
Yep. Yeah, I was leaning towards her or Luke in the beginning, but then Luke was ruled out pretty quickly. He was acting very sus in the scene when Maddie accidentally records his phone conversation.
Accidentally, illegally acquired, but okay.
She
Not
hears a
admissible in
recording.
court,
Yes. So
unfortunately.
she hears a recording of Luke leaving a voicemail to someone. Hey, it's me. Sorry to call, but we have a problem, a very big problem. I'll have to call you back. So that scene, that was like, you're acting suspicious, Luke.
You'd be sus, man.
And of course, Maddie tells Detective Beeks that she thinks he is involved. And they listen to the tip line call and hear a faint noise in the background, but at the time they first hear it, they don't know what it is. And we will find out what that noise was in just a second. But going into Nick, he goes on a field trip to Beltram's safes, and so does Detective Beeks. A safe was purchased for the jewelry store and delivered on the 9th of that month by Nick. Nick quit working at Beltram Safes when his daughter filed for a divorce and kicked him out of his apartment. And then this is really when it starts getting interesting. Beeks goes to talk to Nick, but sees Toby there instead. And Nick is getting mail at that address, according to his former father-in-law. And Toby's girlfriend Amanda lets him crash on the couch. And his girlfriend is Amanda. Beeks meets Amanda. She injured her ankle. Interesting.
It happens.
In some of these movies, you can tell that someone is like high on the list if they have an injury.
You're like, you're sus. Your hand's wrapped. Your foot's hurt.
And they try to play it off.
Like, yeah, no, I just stubbed my toe and broke it. I just cut my hand buttering a sandwich this morning. Nothing to worry about.
Oh
Don't
my
worry about me,
gosh.
detective. I'll go tell you some crazy stories so you go suspect someone else.
So Toby, Amanda, and Nick, they know each other because Amanda went to high school with Nick's younger sister. The house belongs to Amanda's grandmother. And then, Beeks does a little investigating. He finds a Patterson uniform shirt on the ground and a Kojak uniform jacket hanging up. And Kojak was Nick's father-in-law's main competitor. So the plot thickens even more. So we soon find out that the killer broke in from next door to Tremonti's and cut through the wall to, of course, get around the security
Okay,
camera.
the cutting through the wall just reminds me of, this is a random reference, but
Yeah.
Andy Griffith Show, there is a robbery episode and Barney's trying to be like undercover and he like busts through the wall into like a men's barbershop next door dressed as a woman because he's undercover and he has to like go out onto the street. It's just a really funny scene, and that's what reminds me of when there's like the little access point, except for he was going the wrong way. He was like, oh, wrong room.
Yeah. I
Wrong
love that
space.
show. I love that
It's
show.
great. It's a classic.
Yeah.
How can
I
you
don't
not?
remember if I've seen that episode, but I have seen a
It's
good
like
amount of
the
episodes.
one,
Yeah.
there's like the famous old grandpa that's like a security guard there, and he's like really sleepy and doesn't do a good job, and
Yeah.
they get robbed. It's a funny show.
Yeah. Yeah. I might have seen it, but it's been a long time. So
Yeah.
if I saw it,
No,
I might
there's
remember
a
it. Yeah.
the scene when he's dressed and he's coming out of like the barber shop in the dress.
Yeah.
It's the little, I don't know if you remember the little boy in the show that always had a pajama PJ, like a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
And he's like, want some? And Barney's just like, go away.
Oh my gosh.
Don't see me right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So, according to the captain, CCTV footage from a store near Tremonti's shows the suspect escaping on a motorcycle around the time of the break-in. But Nick Ray doesn't have a motorcycle unless he stole it because he doesn't have one that's registered, at least.
No
And
legal motorcycle.
no legal motorcycle. He's got a rap sheet and was busted the year before for pawning stolen purses. Out of the 96 jewelry stores in Detroit, 22 of them are in strip malls, and only 10 got their safes from Patterson or Kojak. So that narrows it down to 10, which that's not that many.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of searching over 20.
Yeah. Gotta cut it down a little bit at least.
Nick claims he doesn't know anything about stolen purses and had nothing to do with any robberies. He believes his father-in-law is lying to get him thrown in jail so he can't get custody of his kid. The last time he rode a motorcycle was when he was married to a woman named Olivia. And of course, they can't keep Nick there
Without
until,
probable cause, yeah.
yes, without probable cause. And I get it. I mean, you gotta
Yeah,
have the evidence.
you wouldn't want to be jailed and be like, oh, we don't have a reason yet. We're working on it.
Yes.
That would be terrible. It's like, oh, well, we think you did it. We just can't prove it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm leaving then. Thank you very much.
Using his music editing software, Ethan found the tip that
Is he
Maddie got.
the guitar guy?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
this
so.
is this is the guy I have in my notes, my very random chaotic notes. Looks like a Pixar character. He could be a Pixar character, believe me. He
He's
just got that
great.
vibe. Got that vibe. 100% castable Pixar character.
So Ethan found the tip that Maddie got is from a woman. Of course, that woman is Olivia, and there's a baby crying in the background. Of course, that baby is Nick and Olivia's kid. Olivia wanted to stop a robbery without ratting Nick or Luke out. And the day Shamani was robbed, she went to talk to Nick at Amanda's house about child support, and then she overheard a conversation that I guess he was having with Toby. And then there were issues with the safe at Mr. White's store because the man who installed it apparently forgot the number. And of course, because of that scene where Beeks and Maddie go check it out, that person is Nick because he's the one installing the safe. And then we get to Toby and Amanda. They work at a pet store, so that gives probable cause that,
Opportunity, most importantly.
yes, they are involved. Amanda tells Detective Beeks that she isn't familiar with xyloprene, but she does know it because Nick asked her and Toby to steal some, but they said no. Lying on the spot, not cool. So Detective Beeks goes to, check things out in the back because Amanda gave him, I guess, the keys to their lockers, and he finds a dart gun in Toby's locker, and not cool. Toby assaults him because he's trying to get away. He thinks he's being framed, which he kind of is, not gonna lie,
You're
by
not
Amanda.
totally wrong.
And we find out the killer when Maddie goes to Panache Jules. It's Amanda. She never meant to hurt anyone. It was an
Again,
accident. And
I had no clue then, now, ever, at any point. You should, yeah, I
mhm.
was shook. I
She didn't.
I do not see that. All I remember in this very quick, tiny rewatch I did right before this to try
Mhm.
and jog the memory, which did
Yeah,
not work, but
yeah.
um was like it just annoyed me how her roots were dark. That's all. I'm like, she has such red hair and her roots are dark. Like,
Mm,
dye them or get a better wig. That's all I took away.
yeah,
I'm like, she's in a lot of scenes and she's got dark roots.
yeah,
Not that she's a killer.
yeah. It was an accident, and she didn't know the xyloprene would kill Tamani. Her grandparents raised her, and the reason she did it, she says her only chance of graduating and having a decent life was her track scholarship, and now it's gone. So it was to pay for everything. So I guess the debt she was in, and then on top of that, the bank was going to foreclose on her grandmother's house.
So she actually did hurt her like foot legitimately, and that made her lose her scholarship? Or
I
how did
think
she?
they never
So
really said.
the foot injury was important, just not that it was fake, that it was the
Yeah.
catalyst.
Yes, it was the catalyst, but
Okay.
they never really explained how exactly she got her foot injury. I don't think that I can remember.
Probably just like practice or something dumb.
Yeah. So after Detective Beeks and Maddie have caught Amanda, she's asking how she broke into the safe. And Detective Beeks says that anytime Nick would install one, she'd put on one of his uniform shirts, then show back up at the store pretending they forgot to write down a serial number and would install tiny motion activated cameras. Anytime anyone punched a code in the safe, she recorded it and would retrieve it along with the jewelry.
That's crazy.
Not cool, Amanda. Not cool.
I mean, kind of brilliant, but
Brilliant, but not cool.
maybe she'll be hip in jail, but like
Yeah.
lesser crime. It is interesting
Yeah.
though that because that adds another thing. Because when you're looking at this case and you're the investigator or
Yeah.
whatever, you're looking for motive and
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, and you're like you're kind of assuming this person meant to kill, and
Mm-hmm.
so when it's like accidental death, that's tougher
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
murder's normally premeditated. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't personal, like crime of passion. Like she
Yeah.
had nothing against security guard guy or whatever. So
Mm-hmm. No.
definitely makes it
Yeah.
a little more
Yeah.
interesting.
What were some highlights for you from this movie? So scenes you
Perfect.
enjoyed. Yeah.
Okay, top two scenes. I talked about this earlier, I think, but the catalyst for her becoming a tip line
Yes,
opera.
that was best scene in
That
the
I think is
movie.
the scene of the movie. Not
Mm-hmm.
because it's like the prettiest. I think the whole movie, cinematography, the wide shots. I'm a sucker for a wide shot. It's an gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Loved the color grade. Talked about this.
Yeah.
But catalyst scene when she's basically in shock and they're in like the break room and she
Mm-hmm.
opens up to him about
Yeah.
why she even started in the first place and it
Yes.
being because I think she worked at a bar or something and they were getting robbed.
Sports bar.
Yeah, and the guy pulled a gun and
Yep.
she's like originally
She
thought
just
she thought
froze.
she'd be fine and she wasn't. She started getting nightmares. And then the only reason they ever stopped was because there was a tip.
Yep.
And
And they
so
caught the guy. Yeah.
yeah, so she's like, this kind of saved her, so she wants to, return the favor kind of to
Yeah.
everyone else. I think her line was, I want people to know they're being heard or something like that. But
Yes. I want people out there to know that I hear them.
yeah. So that
Yes.
scene, other scene I liked was the reverse of the trope of the guy saving the girl.
Oh yeah, that was a
And then
good
I
scene.
wished it was real blood because I want action. Okay, give me
That
action, Hallmark. I wanted a
okay.
little blood spilled. Sue me. Um, it was ketchup. I don't care. It's
Yeah.
ketchup. Okay, but fine, whatever. I get. You had to write that out somehow. You
Yeah.
can't have something red
Yeah.
and then it not be blood. You have
Yeah.
to come up with something, so it's ketchup. But
Yeah.
dude, I wanted it to be real so bad. I mean, traumatizing,
I actually
but
thought it was real at first.
100%. That's why I'm like they sold you on it. They sold you on
But
it. And I was like, finally, like a girl with like good instincts. Not finally. They have lots of good female leads. It's not like they're
yeah.
terrible. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, even though he's kind of a little bit big for her to be like tackling and pushing out of the way, but
Hmm.
he's a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to like the little reverse of the trope because it's a classic. Generally
Hmm.
speaking, it's a car and the guy
Hmm.
grabs the girl by the waist and whoosh. I'm not saying that's not
Yeah.
romantic. It
Pushes
is.
her
I
out of the
mean,
way.
it
Yeah.
is a way to invade someone's privacy for the sake of
Yeah.
safety. But
Yes.
we're not opposed. Um,
Yeah.
good trope, but it was nice to see it flipped. Just I just wished it
Yeah.
was real. I feel
Yeah.
like those were the big major ones. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, the reason scene pretty much was the thing. It's like I needed
That
that
scene in
scene.
the
That
movie.
scene didn't exist.
Yeah.
Movie would have been a little tough. I had just random things written. I have like Maddie a little unhinged, and then her promotion slash hiring. I don't know what that's in reference to either. I should just rewatch the
Oh,
movie
that
before
was
doing this. But yeah, that's the general highlights. Did the chief hire her? Is that what I'm saying? Like the police
yeah.
person? Okay,
Yeah. The
okay.
captain hired her. That was a good scene.
See, okay. I'm not crazy. I just don't have like super.
Yeah.
I just write stuff down that like
Oh, yeah.
doesn't have
It's all
context.
good. I loved her reaction to that. She's like, I'm a detective.
I feel like every Hallmark movie is like, you can help once you join the police academy is a classic line from a detective. I think Travis says it. I
Yeah.
think Logan says it. I think all lead detectives at some point say,
Yeah.
you can help me as soon as you graduate.
Yeah.
um, I'll take you as a cadet. You'll be my rookie. But she actually legit was like, okay.
Yeah. I also liked Detective Beeks and Maddie's first meeting. This kind of the back and forth banter they had, I thought was great. You know, when he was like, "You're not supposed to be here," blah 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 blah.
Classic. Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying it's without merit. I just
Yeah.
didn't happen to remember it. I
Oh,
mean
it's
vaguely,
all good.
other than like her
Yeah.
being en route or something like
Yeah.
that for work. I feel like she had a uniform on. I do feel like, yeah, that is a scene, but I don't remember anything specific
Yeah.
about it.
I think he also handcuffs her like for a few seconds, but then she
Okay,
tries to like get out of it and then he takes the handcuffs off.
that's crazy. Um, nice. Like you head into work, your coworker's like, "Why are you late?"
Yeah.
Well, I got temporarily arrested, but it's really not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Another scene I thought was great was Maddie meeting Ethan, who was the intern,
Okay,
and
cool.
she's telling him about the computers. I don't have any of the dialogue written down, but that was just a great kind of comical scene with them.
Yeah.
And
Again, I feel like
yeah,
don't remember a ton about Ethan other than he should have been a Pixar character. But yeah, I feel like I've seen him in another movie too, and I feel like he does kind of play
Curious
this kind of
Caterer.
quirky, funny guy. So I could see that
Yeah,
them working
Curious
well.
Caterer. He's Mason on Curious Caterer.
Does the best friend like him? Right? Or something? Okay.
He's Tom's partner. So Andrew Walker's character's
Okay, but
like
okay,
partner.
why do I feel like Mason is important in Curious Gator? I feel like I know this name, and I've only
Yeah,
watched
he is.
a
Yeah.
couple. I know, but is her best friend interested in him or anything? Or does he have a main story? Is he framed for murder? Is there anything with him? Why would I know him other than he's just the sidekick cop? Anyway, maybe I just know him because he's the sidekick cop. But anyway,
Yeah, that's probably, yeah, I think that's
he
it.
does
Yeah.
seem like like a comical
He's
kind of
great.
quirky
Yeah.
plays the
Riley's fantastic.
quirky guy. So I can
Yeah.
see that working.
Yeah. Riley's fantastic. I forgot to mention this. One thing I loved about Maddie meeting Detective Beeks, she says that she watches a lot of crime shows like
Oh dear.
CSI, and she mentions Horatio Kane,
Who's Horatio Kane?
the guy with the red hair. He's from CSI Miami.
See, I don't watch
The
CSI.
main, yeah, the main character of that.
Oh, okay, okay.
That was
I'm
great.
like, never lead with the fact that you listen to true crime or anything. Like, if you meet a cop and you're trying to collab, never lead with that.
No, and
Never ends well. Like, no cop is like, oh yeah, you listen. So it'd be like no different than like, I've watched all 72 episodes of Blue Bud or whatever. I've watched
Bud.
all of the seasons of Special Victims Unit. It's like
Hmm.
not gonna earn you any brownie points. It's like going to a
Yeah.
doctor and being like, I've watched all of Grey's Anatomy.
Hmm.
I'm a doctor now.
Yeah.
Just don't lead.
I
Don't lead with the true crime.
yeah. I know the Horatio Kane reference because my dad will occasionally watch CSI Miami.
Ah, nice, nice. I mean, I have nothing against it. Just a lot of
No,
cop shows
of
out
course
there,
not.
so
Yeah. A lot of cop shows, yeah. Okay, now this scene I think was one of the funniest in the movie. Detective Beeks, I don't think is in it. It's when Maddie has a conversation with the woman Cheryl, who has all the cats, and then Cheryl and Artie are bickering, and Artie's like, "Everyone here calls you Cheryl the purse snatcher." Like they're just
okay.
fighting back and forth.
You don't have to expose me like that.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh. And then again, Maddie mentions that she listens to true crime podcast,
Never lead.
and then I laughed when she told Beeks, "You should up your cardio." And of course, she was kidding. But this is when they were talking about Hermione's heart problems.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah,
he looks
it
pretty
was in
fit.
that scene.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was also in the same scene that the captain offered her the volunteer reserve officer job. So yeah, it was like right before that.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah. Of course, I love a good scene in these mystery movies when the characters are working on a murder board trying to figure out
Gotta love
the
a
killer.
murder board. You do. You do. I like regular pinup boards for
Yeah.
non-murder purposes. I dream of having one.
I have
Not a murder
pictures to
board,
count.
but like I want, okay, specifically I want a clear one like Amy's. I want one of the flippy ones that are
Oh yeah.
transparent. I think those are so cool.
Yes, they are.
Obsessed. The only thing with that is I also kind of like the idea of like magnets or something. I don't know how you'd attach
Hmm.
anything to the glass. You'd have to like double back.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of work.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
ideally, a glass one because those are cool.
Hmm. Another funny scene when Beeks and Maddie are pretending to be married to get more information about the
Mm,
ring that's on the
fake dating. I
display.
talked to Aiden about this. I love the trope. Haters gonna hate. I like fake dating, especially if I like the couple. There are numerous
Yeah.
Christmas movies where there is a hardcore setup, like she's going home and she needs a boyfriend. I'm a huge fan. I know some people are like they don't like them. I live for them. Especially, okay,
They're
if the
fun.
couple's trash, then whatever. They're trash. You
Hmm.
don't want them together in the first place.
Yeah.
Um, I love it because it gives you a chance to see
Hmm.
them together when you know you won't see them together for a while. It gives
Yeah.
you this little taste. So I'm a fan.
Yes.
I'm a fan of
Yeah.
fake marriage, fake dating,
Hmm.
the whole
Yeah.
spiel. I mean, eventually gets like if you have ones where it's like a long charade, that gets rough because if it's like then they're like,
Hmm.
oh, then I do like you, and then they have to break up to get back together, you know?
Yeah.
But generally, yes, like fake dating tropes. Fan of it.
Yes. I laugh when he says, honey, what do you think about this ring for your mom's birthday? And she's like, oh yeah,
I
I
know.
think
That's
she'll
like
like it.
he like leads the way. I feel like normally in a fake dating, it's like the girl is like always the one who's like coming up with something and
Yeah.
having to lead the way, and the guy's like, sure.
Yes.
But she's like, oh yeah, well, I think this would be great. And then I
Yeah.
think she like they don't have any money. So she's like $111 or $112 or whatever is what she
Yeah.
offers them for it.
Yeah.
So much confidence.
Yep. And then they're trying to bargain on the price of the ring and
Yeah. And they're like, no fun. You're not
nope.
gonna get it for that, dude.
And you
Sorry.
know, they're trying to grill the employee and Beeks pulls out his badge or shows off his badge and the employee's like, I knew it. I could smell cop all over you.
I'm like, I'm curious. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen an undercover cop. I feel like I don't live in a big enough town for that to be a thing. Can you actually
Oh,
tell?
yeah.
The town I live in is quite small. It's like a couple thousand. It's like 7,000 people. There's
Oh,
not going to be a lot of merit or need for that level of operation.
yeah. And then I had to laugh when Mrs. White, the woman that was staying at the hotel with her husband, was trying to matchmake for Beeks and Maddie. And she's like, good friends make great husbands.
Oh, geez. Okay, lady. Chill.
And she's like, we're just friends. Friends? Yeah, we're just friends.
And she's like, you'll make a great husband. Okay, how do you know? A
Oh,
little forward of you, don't you
yeah,
think?
yeah. And then I loved when Maddie, sometime after that, she's like, should I play good cop or bad cop? You're not any kind of cop.
Yep. Sorry, lady. You don't qualify as any. You're just kind of assistant.
Nope. And this was before talking to Nick Ray. And, I love how Detective Beeks is like, no, you're not going to be talking to him. And then she just goes over there anyway
Yep.
to
It's like,
talk to
oh,
him.
yeah, the listening worked really well.
Oh my gosh.
Communication was amazing.
And then Maddie helps Artie get his cat Simba back. And I can't help but think of the Lion King when I hear Simba.
Oh, I'm like, that is, yeah. No, I feel like that's the only origin to the name that you're gonna be
That
pulling.
had to have been a Lion King reference.
Has to be. I mean, if it's a cat, yeah. Has to
Yes.
be. A
Yep.
dog or something, that'd be a little odd, but you could.
Yeah.
Cat 100% reference.
And one of my favorite moments was when Maddie helps Detective Beeks arrest Amanda and she states her Miranda rights. She's like, you have the right to remain
Remain
silent.
silent.
Anything,
Anything will be held. Anything you
yeah,
say can and will be used against you in a
used
court of
against you in the
law.
court of law.
Gotta love.
You
Gotta love.
you have the right to an attorney. If you cannot
If
afford
you
one,
for an
one will
attorney,
be
one will be
provided.
awarded to you by the state. Yep.
Great.
She's like, I am a cop, even though I'm not.
I love how Amanda's like, and who are you?
Random lady at the crime scene.
And Beeks
Because
is
that's
like,
normal.
he's a reserve officer now.
I know, but she wasn't then. She was like
No.
random lady at the crime scene. Can you imagine though? Like, let's say you are, for whatever reason, a murderer and you're getting arrested, and it's not a cop who's saying that to you. It's just like chick walks up and is like
Yeah.
spilling out this whole thing.
hmm
Quite odd. You would be like, who are you and why are you here? No one knows.
Yeah.
She just kind of buds in. She feels like it.
hmm The last scene, I really enjoyed the last scene when she's talking to him about, I guess, the case and,
Wrap up.
having it, yeah, wrapping up things with the case. And she gets her own handbook and she finds out that he used to be 219. So the one that she was hearing on the calls
Oh,
about the arrest.
cool.
Yeah. And she wants her own number as a reserve officer.
Like, I want 007. Thank you.
Yes.
Reserved.
Moving into our rating segment, what would you rate this movie for cast on a scale of 5 stars?
Mm, Um, do you do half or do you just do whole stars?
Oh, I do have to. So if you want to do like 4.5 or whatever, or 3.5 or
Yeah, we're going 3.5. I don't know the cast that well.
okay.
I don't think it was badly cast. I mean, I
Okay.
would say it's like slightly above average. Sounds really
It was
harsh,
yeah.
but that's where I'm gonna put it. Yeah,
Okay. I gave it 5 out of 5 because
slightly
I
different. I like how you just turned play it off. You're like, valid. I give it
oh my
5.
gosh.
You give it 3.5. That's close.
It's all
That
good.
makes that dream.
It it's all good. It's good to have differing opinions sometimes. So
Yeah.
it's all good. Yeah. Setting.
Oh, that it's in Detroit or overall, like
Oh, just overall,
that?
just the setting of the movie.
Oh, I mean, that's a 5. I love,
Yeah.
setting the alleys, the just
hmm
the overall mood was immaculate. The rain. I mean, if
Yeah.
anything, they leaned a little too heavy into it, but I'm never gonna complain
hmm
that you went too moody with it. Loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the story. So the
Again,
mystery,
the plot escapes me, so
it's all good.
I don't know. Like I said, it's like a above average. It's not great. It wouldn't be an 8. But it's above average. So yeah, I mean 7.5, kind of in that neighborhood.
Okay. I gave it 4.5 out of
Oh
5.
yeah, it's out of fives. Writing, oh dang, 3. Giving it a 3.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I gave it 4.5. I enjoyed it. I mean, it
Yeah,
did, of course, have some things I would change, but
yeah.
hopefully if
I
there's a
and like
sequel,
I think it's just because I don't remember it as memorable. That is like the
yeah.
biggest knock to it. I can't think of anything that I'm like, oh, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But the fact that I can't remember anything is
hmm
also like it wasn't memorable. So that's why I got
Oh,
knocked.
yeah. It's totally okay. Yeah, it's all good. Hopefully the second one will be even better than the
I
first one.
think I think it
If
will.
there is a second. Yeah.
especially a third. I feel like a third movie
Yeah.
would definitely. I feel like second you need. Third is where it's like, okay, a series can
Mm-hmm.
really get some like pacing, some personality, some movement.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
second is necessary because that it means it's graduated from standalone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I feel like you hit 3, 4, 5. That's when you're gonna start
Mm-hmm.
hitting your mark. That's when it's gonna be like best of
Yes.
whatever run it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like seasons. Like second season you needed so that the show renewed.
Mm-hmm.
You hit, fourth season, fifth season tends to be the best
Mm-hmm.
of. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And overall.
Out of 5. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is of all time. It's like of this year, yeah, it's gonna be one of the best of this year. But I haven't watched half of this year's.
That's okay.
Okay, out of what is it? Okay, it's out of 5, so I need 3.5.
3.5. I gave it
Mhm.
4.5. So 4.5.
As
Yes.
close as we've
Again,
been ranking wise.
that's totally okay. Yeah. It's all good.
Average is, middle, which is 5 or 2.5.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a little above. It's not mid, it's good, but it's not great in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's why obviously you enjoyed it considerably more. So
Yeah.
your ranking makes sense.
Yeah. Everyone has their own opinion, so that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's good to have different opinions sometimes.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you were all the same and you thought the same thing about everything, it would be quite boring. So
Very true. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
this was fun. We'll have to
Yes.
do it again. When it
Yes.
took us so long to do this one, I seriously contemplated being like, should we do Sign? Should we switch movies?
Oh.
This one came out in like June or July. It's October.
Yeah.
So it took a
Yeah.
little while.
Yes.
Hopefully
But
hopefully there'll be some down the road
Yeah.
that'll
yeah.
be interesting.
But this was so much fun, Liz. Thank you for joining me. I had a great time reviewing this with you.
It was fun.
Yeah. I can't wait to do it again in the future.
Yes. We'll have to do it again. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Of course. All right, Hallmarkies. I think that wraps up our review of Tipline Mysteries, Dial 1 for Murder. If you enjoyed this episode and are watching on YouTube, you can like this video and share your thoughts about Tipline in the comments. If you are listening on Spotify, make sure to rate and review, as your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If you want to stay up to date on all of my episodes, you can subscribe to this channel on YouTube or follow along on Spotify, and make sure to turn on the bell so you are alerted when new episodes come. You can also find the podcast on Instagram and Facebook at Swing My Heart Podcast and Twitter at Swing My Heart Pod. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Love y'all. Bye.